Hello, everyone. This tutorial will show you how to add a new QA test to your existing programs on the new Rickus website. In order to add a new QA test, we will go to the Configurations menu, which is on the left-hand corner of your page. It is the third icon from the top. We select QA test configuration, and as soon as the QA test configuration page opens up, you will see all the programs that your lab is registered for. In order to add a new test for an existing program, simply click on the down arrow next to that program's name. And once you click on that down arrow, you will see all the different types of QA tests that have already been created on the Rickus website for you. If you're an existing user of Rickus and you've been using our previous old website, then all those tests that were present on the old website have now been transferred over for your convenience to the new Rickus.com. If you're a new Rickus user that wants to add your tests on Rickus.com, or if you're an existing Rickus user that wants to create a new QA test, to do that, simply click on the Add icon, which is on the right-hand side, right under the program's name. So we click on Add. We can choose then the starting sample that you want this QA test to be activated from. So let's say it's cycle 73, sample 11. So you'll see the cycle number, and then you'll also see the sample number. So let's say the starting sample is cycle 73, sample 11 for the clinical chemistry program. Then I'll go down and select the assay name. So you can see a list of different assay names appear. These assay names will only appear if you have created these assays already under assay configuration. So if you haven't created the assays under assay configuration, you will not see anything appear under the Add New QA Test Configurations pop-up icon or pop-up page. So please be sure to create the assays that you want to create the tests for before. So let's say I'll choose one of my previously created assays, which is ALT. For example, I'll choose ALT. Once I choose the assay, I can now choose the instruments that I want this assay to be attached with. So I can choose up to 5 instruments for a single assay in Rickus. So you can see I'm adding all these different assays. They're going from the non-selected column to the selected column. So I can see all these instruments that I've just added to my ALT assay. So once we create the assay and once we create the instruments, of course, in order for any of the instruments to appear under instrument configuration, you will need to create these instruments first under the instrument configuration icon or under the instrument configuration page. So once you've created the instruments, once you've created the assays, the QA test configuration helps you join the assay and the instrument together and create a QA test. So we've selected 5 instruments that I want to attach my ALT assay to. You don't have to select 5, you can select up to 5. Once I've selected all the instruments that I want my assay to be attached to, I can then simply go down and click on the Save icon. And then these assay or these tests, these QA tests, have now been created. In order to see your newly created QA tests, we can just simply search the name of the test on top. So for example, we can search ALT. That was the assay that I attached to the 5 new instruments. So I'll search ALT. And here I can see all of my new ALT tests created. And all of these new ALT tests are now active as a newly created QA test. Just to make you aware again, in order to create a QA test, first you must create the assay, which is the analyte, method, and reagent supplier, as well as the unit. all of them attached together in a single assay. You need to create that first under assay configurations. And then you also need to create your instrument under instrument configurations. Once you've done both of those steps, please go to this third step of creating a new QA test. You cannot create a new QA test if you don't have the assay details and if you don't have the instrument details already on ricus.com. Thank you so much for listening.